Hi guys, good morning. How are you there? Are you feeling bored? Yeah, understandably, everybody is feeling bored, especially with this extended version of self-isolation during the pandemic. Yeah? But I have a cure for that, and the cure is grammar. Yay. Okay, let's go to my PowerPoint slides. So that's the topic for today. Correct the common grammar mistakes. So this is the advanced stage of our grammar lesson. Um, we are going to deal with some incorrect sentences and you are going to correct them. Okay. So please see these sentences and try to find out the incorrect part and then try to correct them. I'm going to show them one by one and I'm going to give you some time to think about the correct answer. Okay, this is the first one. In this chapter, the writer presents the answer of problems that's stated in the first chapter. Can you figure out why this sentence is incorrect? Okay, now let me show the answer. Yeah, this is the correct version. In this chapter, comma, the writer presents the answer to the problems that are stated in the first chapter. So see, the incorrect part here is the passive voice. In the passive voice, you can never say something like this. Subject or relative pronoun which replaces the subject and then directly verb 3. If it is a full passive voice, then it has to be like this. The subject, that here is a subject or functions as a subject, and then you have be, and then you have verb 3. Remember that the basic pattern of passive voice is always be plus verb 3. Okay, and that's why this sentence, this part is wrong because it misses the P, which is R here. Okay, but of course you can reduce this, you can shorten this by dropping the that as the relative pronoun and the be. Yeah? So you can have something like this. In this chapter, the writer presents the answer to the problems stated in the first chapter. So you see, now this is a reduced passive clause. You drop the be, the that and the be, and you leave only, you have only the verb 3 there after the problems. Okay, right. Now let's go to the next one. Most of the students having the same mindset about their purpose in doing the activity. Okay, scan it for a while and try to figure out why this sentence is incorrect. Got it? Okay, this is the correct version. Most of the students have the same mindset about their purpose in doing the activity. See what why this sentence is wrong? It's because the writer writes subject and then directly followed by verb ing, which never works in English grammar. You cannot have something like this in a full sentence. Yeah. Subject plus verb ing is a fatal mistake in English grammar. Okay. Now the right one, the correct one is after the subject, and then you have the correct form of the verb here, have. This is in the present tense, so it is have after the students, not having, but have. Yeah. See, remember the pattern of a simple present tense, subject, and then verb one. Okay. Um, of course, you can change the have here according to the tenses. If it is meant to be in the past, then you simply change the have into had here, had, which is the verb form in the past tense. Yeah. But a pattern like this is never permitted in a full sentence of English. Subject, verb, ing, that's definitely wrong. Okay, you got it? Good. Now let's continue to the next. Teachers need to focus on their students' behavior because students still need to be disciplined. Now, what's wrong with this? Can you figure it out why this is wrong? Okay, let me show you the correct one. Now, this is the correct version. Teachers need to focus on their students' behavior because students still need to be disciplined. See what's wrong with this sentence? The first two sentences is because there is a hanging clause here. It is called hanging because it must be connected to the previous clause. Why? Because you have the word because here as a subordinator. This clause here is a subordinate clause, and because it is subordinate clause, it must be connected to the previous clause. The previous clause is the main clause, and then you have a subordinate clause here. Yeah. And therefore, you cannot separate the two with a period, but you have to join them using a comma, or say you join them by eliminating or by dropping the period here. Yeah. So it becomes teachers need to focus on their students' behavior because students still need to be disciplined. And in this way, the clause here is now connected to the main clause before that. Then it's no longer a hanging clause. This is called hanging or unfinished clause. Yeah, even in Indonesian language, people often make this kind of mistake. Yeah, so be careful with this. Of course, you can put the subclause in front. In that case, you have the because students still need to be disciplined, comma, teachers need to focus on their students' behavior. Yeah, just the same meaning. Yeah, probably with a different emphasis, but still the same meaning. Yeah. But the point is that you can never write because hanging like this. It is called unfinished clause or hanging clause because it is separated by the period and it is wrong. Okay. Okay, the next one, after the data was analyzed, period, a conclusion was drawn. Why do you think this is incorrect? Yeah, I think this is easier. You probably can sense that this is wrong from reading that in the first place. The first time you read it, you sense that something is not very correct, right? Yeah, here again, the same mistake, the hanging clause here, the unfinished clause after the data was analyzed, period. Now, this is what makes it wrong because again, this is subordinate clause that must be connected to the main clause. Yeah. And so the correct version is like this. After the data was analyzed, comma, a conclusion was drawn. Okay, so make your clauses connected to each other. Do not let one clause finished before the other clause follows. Yeah, so be careful in writing complex sentence like this. Be careful in using the comma and the period. Yeah. Period means you separate the one clause from the other. And in this case, that is what makes it wrong. Okay. So now that you have finished the grammar 2 lesson from me, I hope you should be able to do the following. You should be able to write an English essay with consistent and logical tenses. Consistent means that once you start with a particular tense, then you stick to that. And logical means once you feel the need to change the time reference, then you change the tenses accordingly. That is logical. Yeah. So suppose you are writing something which is a habit or a common truth, then you use present tense. But then once you want to shift to a previous experience, then you shift to past tense. Yeah, okay, things like that. And then the second one, I hope that now you will be able to write full sentences with proper verbs. Proper verbs means no more subject plus verb ing in a full sentence, as I have demonstrated in the previous slides. Yeah. The third one is, I hope now you'll be able to write reduced adverb and adjective clauses. Yeah. So whenever you have adverb and adjective clauses, remember that you can always reduce them. You can always shorten them. So overall, I hope now you will be able to create academic essays which are coherent, sound advanced, and grammatical. Okay. Okay, thank you for taking my course at Machung University. I hope that you can be better in your grammar. I hope you can produce and create understandable and grammatical essays. Academic English, good and grammatical academic English. Okay. Okay, students, so that's all for today. Good luck, stay safe, stay healthy, and be grammatical. Goodbye for now.